Good morning. Welcome to Sunday Morning Huckleberries. This
When?
is Jennifer Dubell Huckleberry, Tyler Huckleberry, and we're in love.
Yay.
Yay. Rest of our life. Yay. Aren't you excited? You get to spend it with me. Cool.
The way you worded it was funny.
I know, that's why I did. uh, so what happened this week?
The sad thing is I don't want to talk about that.
Sad thing? Yeah. Well, that makes for a good vlog.
We can quickly talk about it because I don't want to be sad about it. But for how many weeks now? 3?
Yeah, something like that.
We've took in 2 baby kittens from Tyler's work that they rescued, and they had to be bottle fed because they were so little. Their eyes weren't open and they could only move on their bellies. They were really little. And so we were feeding every 3 hours, even throughout the night, tag teaming together, taking care of them. And on Tuesday, very quickly, one of them got sick and passed. And that was very, very sad. Our sweet little Pepper, he was a little tiger. And he was gray, striped with a white belly and face and ears. And he was a sweet boy. And it was a very sad day. And I feel like for the boys, it was like their first real experience with loss
Yeah.
because lady, but they were younger,
Mm.
and she was old and
Mm.
sick, and this was like a baby that they had been helping watch after. And even though, of course, when we first brought them home, we wouldn't, other than you and me, we wouldn't let the boys touch them,
Mm.
being very careful. But we still have Cleopatra, who is currently sleeping in her very luxurious floofy bed.
Mm.
And
She's happy.
yes, but that was a sad day.
Yeah. Life.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you had the first question.
Oh, I want to do these.
Oh, you
I want to save those for a different time.
really?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Okay. So I'll read the first question. I have 2 questions. One is a follow-up. I thought your question would be lighter. I had answers in my head
No,
and
I could
everything.
talk about just that for the whole thing.
Okay. Okay. So my question was, what makes a good friend?
Am I starting?
You can? Sure. You don't need my permission.
That's another topic for another vlog.
Yeah.
Patriarchy in the church.
Well, in general, I guess.
So for me, what sticks out the most is living life with someone, because you have friends throughout life that are certain phases, like childhood friends or teenage friends, college friends.
Mm.
And it's cool that because of social media, you can now still kind of be a part of their life, even if you don't talk to them on the regular.
Mm-hmm.
But thinking of my closest friends, it's experiencing all parts of life together, the exciting parts, the tragic parts, the hard parts. And um, that's what I think of when I think about Lori, because it's cool because we were friends as kids and teenagers, like all the phases, where I feel like she's the only one that has stood that test of time. And the moments that stick out the most, besides just having a blast together and the really fun childhood memories of sledding and playing in the rain and things like that, is her commitment to being there for me when I was suffering, and vice versa.
Hmm.
I'm thankful that life allowed us to both not be suffering at the same moments
Yeah.
so that we could be there for one another. And I, what I'm thankful for the most with her, because I've had friendships end because of this, is she knows everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I think it's important in friendships to be able, I call your ugly, to share your ugly. Nothing to do at all with personal appearance, having to do with, you know, your dark thoughts or struggles or complications, whatever it should be. And she knows it all and didn't walk away from me. Where people in the past, I would open up completely and they would either use that against me or walk away from me, which is fine. Some people can't handle, or in college, how they talked about like your baggage. I remember a professor talking about that. Everybody comes with their own baggage, and some people can't handle other people's baggage, which is fine. But so it's endurance and then being there through the hardships. Because even though it's a very, very cliche, I've learned in my life, you see who people really are in hardships. Some people can handle it, and some people cannot.
Yeah.
And you see someone's true self when you are going through hardships or they are going through hardships. So,
I think there's a lot of truth to that. But also, I don't think people have the capacity to be friends to everybody.
mm-hmm.
And that's an important thing to realize. Like, I mean, you mentioned the you find out how people really are. Well, it's really you're finding out what your connection is. It's not that they're bad people. It's that you're you don't you only have a certain capacity. Sometimes the most kind thing you can do is just be there at a funeral, and that's all you can do, you know? And it sucks. I mean, I wish that's why I think people say I'm sorry so much, is because I'm sorry, I can't do anything about this situation.
Mm-hmm.
Which, when you think about it like that, because it sounds almost hurtful when you hear it over and over again. If you're in a funeral environment or some serious situation where some people are saying, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry.
I wrote a whole poem about that.
Yeah, but it's also true. We're acknowledging, in a way, how little we are, but also that we're a part of it by saying that. What makes a good friend? So I have friends in, I think, four different categories. It could be more complicated than that, but there's, starting at the top, there's the friend that you need, that's ride or die, that you're gonna go through life with and be there for, and you're committed. And that's what I have with you. And I don't think you have a capacity really for more than one of those in your life. Then there's the top tier friends, the ones that you're there for each other, but you're not dependent on each other in the sense of your personal needs, but you're there for each other and you support each other in your needs. And they're also the people that you would drop things to go hang out with. And you only have a few of those. And that's, those two are the most valuable friendships
Mm-hmm.
that I think every person needs. And it could only be three people in that, you know? Um, then there's the casual friends, which I think that's self-explanatory, and the charity friends, which are the people that you're kind to. They're more acquaintances, but you're kind to, and they're in your sphere of influence. Um, but they might not contribute to enrichment of your life. And I don't really
It's a good
have a
way to
thing
put it.
lower than that, because I think that kind of encapsulates how I want to treat people.
And I think all
Not
the
that they're charity cases, but it's like,
I like the way you explained it.
yeah, in your life, they're not contributing to your life, but you're still wanting to contribute something to the world because you feel that you can contribute something to that. But it's draining. But it's in limited time quantities, you know. So
I think it's a before I go into the second thought, it's a hard lesson in life to learn for me. I don't know if you experience this at Southeastern, going through the public school system with popularity. And when you're younger, you think the more friends you have, the better it is.
mm,
And then when you grow and mature, you realize one, that's not sustainable. Two, sometimes people are just using you, they're not really your friends. And that it's more important to have a small circle of people that you can trust than a huge group of people that you can say, like, a count of how many friends you have on Facebook or something like that. Because when you're younger, that means a lot. How many people follow you, who unfollows you, things like that
yeah,
are a little bit of an obsession when you're younger, but then you grow beyond that. But I'm thankful for, I don't know what level it would hit in your categories.
I
Uh,
just made those up just now, so
the
I
well,
don't.
no, the friends I'm thinking of, just like how you've developed a level of friendship with people at your new job,
Mhm.
and I have some people that I'm just able to laugh with, or able to, let some things off my chest, or just connect with because you both are in the same scenario. You are stuck for
Mm,
me
mm,
in this place where you are currently working. And I think that's a cool thing. And I'm thankful for that. Even though some of those have gone away for me, I'm thankful for the few people that I have that I can just laugh with at work. Because as much as I adore and value the teacher student friendship I develop with them, they're
mhm.
still babies to me. Not in a mean way. They're just young.
No, that's a healthy boundary, especially for work.
And so I'm
And as a
thankful
teacher, yeah,
because I know when I was a preschool teacher, I was longing to connect with the other teachers because it's great and kids are fun, but then you also want that intelligent conversation with someone at your own age level that's gone through the experiences that you've been through and different things like that. So I'm thankful for those friendships that I have in my life too, because you need that just to laugh together or to just vent and know that it's not going to be used against you, because I think both of those things are very healthy and important in a work environment.
mm,
So I'm thankful for those friendships as well.
yeah. And you said like people who have gone through the same things you've been through. I find the opposite as well is true. Like if they've gone through life experiences that might not necessarily align with yours, but I feel like those are the conversations where you really learn things.
Hmm.
Like, and it also puts your situation in perspective when they have different struggles that they're sharing with you. And that's that's where community is, like where we build each
Mm-hmm.
other up just by even talking about the tragedies,
Hmm.
because it's a human experience and it's important. I have a follow-up question is what are healthy boundaries you enforce in the friendships in your life? What is it?
Aiden is voice recording in the background.
Hmm.
I think he forgot that we told him we're recording Sweet Boy.
It's okay.
Healthy boundaries in my friendships?
Yeah, I can start if you'd like.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I was just reading the question. You didn't put friendships in there. So I was thinking, that's why I
So
said there were two different questions in my brain.
so I kind of grew up And I feel like a culture that is a no person left behind culture. You feel bad if you push someone away from your life that is unhealthy for you because you're supposed to be welcoming and loving. But I find that sometimes that's the most loving thing. Not necessarily for them, for the person that you could be cutting off or lowering
Distancing yourself.
frequency, of contact. Um, but that's also how you love people who are close to you, like how other people that you're exposing to that. For instance, like in our family, and I think I guess I'm skipping around. I'm sorry. I got a lot in
Okay.
my head, which is good. I have things to talk about, but um,
Well, there's a level now of us being married and having kids that we have to think about protecting them,
yeah.
not not just filling into to others, but that's a weird thing too, because whether it be because of a faith belief or the way you were brought up, I feel like there's a pressure to always accept everyone into your life, and boundaries can be really important in there if it's unhealthy to your family or your children. It
Mhm.
doesn't mean that you can't be kind to them or give back to them, or help them outside of your home.
Yeah.
But your home should be a place of safety for your children, and for you too. And I know that when we were having small group here, as much as I liked small groups, sometimes for me it was very overwhelming because this was like supposed to be my safe place, and it turned into this place where masses of people that I don't know and don't really trust, and my children were little,
Hmm.
were all coming into, and that was a struggle for me to balance loving and giving to those people on top of also trying to protect my home and my safe place and my
No,
my
it was
children.
it was good while it lasted, but it needed to end.
And
It was
yeah,
it was a season. I
for
think
sure.
when you're coming into any new relationship, like I mean, just meeting from absolute scratch with someone, you go, "Hi, my name is," and they're like, "Oh, okay, all right. What kind of things are you interested in?" Or the small talk phase. You start with a respect amount of credit that you've allotted for a person that you've zero zero context for, but you're gracious in setting that, like, you know what, I'm going to give you respect as a person because I don't know about you, but I'm going to respect where you are and I'm interested in learning more. That's kind of the first phase. But then, as you go through life and learn more about each other, there can be respect increases or your credit can go down.
Where Aiden's sweet voice
he's,
recordings are really funny right now.
yeah, he's doing voiceover work on his animations. Um, but the credit, I I don't know. I call it like respect credit as of this moment because I haven't called it anything before. But there are what are the healthy boundaries you enforce in your life? To be a direct answer, like if you're a bad parent, I mean objectively bad parent. If your kids are insane, I don't want them around my kids. I know that gets controversial,
Well, I think
but I don't like that. Also, if you don't care for your family, as far as you're working and contributing to take care of your family as a man, not that you have to be the breadwinner, like you make more than I do. Um, but you've got to be contributing to your family. If you're not, like over a period of years, I don't immediately go to that conclusion, but you're losing that credit with me because being around you hurts me because it hurts my kids because they're being influenced by your kids, even though you probably want your kids influenced by mine. Or we have a place because we worked for it. And there are certain advantages, like your mom graciously gave us a little bit for the down payment and that we paid back. But without that, we couldn't have got a house. And even today, with the markets that they were, because we got a foreclosure right before COVID. And
Right
I could,
before the housing prices
we
went back
could
up.
not have gotten a house now. I mean, it's a modest little house. Um, I'm not living in a mansion here, but we are happy
Hmm.
and we have our own space. And but if you're not actively working to contribute to taking care of your family on those basic needs, like shelter, food, uh, like, like education,
In whatever capacity works for your family for that, yeah. Whether
yeah,
it be public school or homeschool or
if you're
private
not
school.
contributing to that,
Yeah.
you're a parasite.
Well, what you made me think of there too when it comes to boundaries and friendships is I know all throughout my life, and I'm not really sure why, because I wouldn't say it was because of Christian influence, because I don't think that's where it came from, but I always didn't want to hurt people
Hmm.
at the sacrifice of myself. And a true friend will understand if you say, I can't hang out today.
Yeah.
I'm overwhelmed. And I've had friends, whether it just be I was younger and we were both immature or whatever, get mad at me when I would set simple boundaries or big boundaries. Like I had to pull back on a lot of things when I was really struggling with anxiety and depression, which is understandable, but some people didn't understand that. And so I think boundaries are not only important in friendships to protect your own family, but or to protect yourself, but also in a way to, I don't want to say send a message to them, but hopefully make people realize things. And I'm thankful for, even though I feel like I have an even smaller circle of friends because I've lost some friendships along the way, I'm thankful that they are at a place where I can say no to things. And even if they're slightly hurt by it at first, they can know who I truly am,
Hmm.
or where my heart is, or where my intentions are. But somewhere in my life, and I could not tell you where, I feel like I always have to not hurt others, even if it's at the sacrifice of myself or my family or you. And I'm learning to grow past that because I think that's a big contributor of my anxiety is that I'm always so worried about how I'm making others feel
Hmm.
when a lot of them could care less how they make me feel, which is weird, you know? And so boundaries are important there. But yes, you should care about being kind to others, but not at the expense of yourself or your children or your marriage. And I don't know, I really couldn't tell you where that
Now
came
being
from in my life, but it's definitely a factor that I've had throughout childhood. I'm so afraid of hurting people.
yeah, I think it's partially the way we were raised. Um, I mean, in church, you don't. Well, wow,
We're
this is
close on time
this is
too.
mean. I probably shouldn't say it.
And don't.
In church, we're taught to embrace people. I mean, that boosts the business. So it's part of the culture. So
But for me, I wasn't a part of that culture in church. It was a very different for me. I never felt the pressure when I was younger or as a teenager, especially because I went to a youth group in a church that was insanely small.
mm,
It was there, that was not there in my life. So that's why I can say with full assertion that I don't think for me it came from my faith upbringing. It could possibly have come from me being hurt from so many people that I don't want to hurt others because I don't want them to feel like what I
yeah,
have felt like from people. And which is like a totally different conversation for another time. But for me, I can assertively say it did not for me at all come from my faith upbringing.
well, I should so add an asterisk to that. Is I'm not against church. Um, I think community is important. And there are people in their lives, and I've been in those phases where you need that community, even if you don't know them personally. But there are people who are obligated to be there for you in those environments. It's just part of what we do. Like we take care of each other. That's what a family does, and they're trying to make that culture. That is important, and I don't want to diminish that. I just, yeah, I have other reasons.
Yeah, another topic for another time.
So
But I'm very wrapping it up. I'm very thankful for the friendships that I have and
it makes them that much more.
the friendships that are developing. I'm very, very thankful for the friendships you have. And the one last thing I didn't get to say earlier that I wanted to say, one of the things modeled by my dad that I feel like I learned from was he had friends of all ages. Like he was very kind to the firemen learning under him, and he also had older friends that he confided in. And I'm thankful for the people that we have like that as well, because since I lost my dad and my aunt, who were my older people that I looked to for advice and love and encouragement, um, I'm thankful for the few people that we have like that that encourage us. And I'm also thankful for your sisters as well, because they've become my best friends. And I didn't have that sibling connection just because of the age gap between me and my brother. And as soon as I became a teenager, I was never home type of thing, you know,
Mhm.
even though I know that he cares for me and would be there for me if I really needed something. It's cool to have a sibling friendship with your sisters. That's a cool connection that I didn't have growing up that I'm thankful to have at this period in my life as well.
Yeah, it's good to have friends,
Mm-hmm.
but be careful because what's the cliche? Hurt people hurt people. But sometimes you need to be there
I
for
don't
those hurt
know.
people.
Another topic for another time because I don't believe in that.
Yeah?
I'm very hurt and I try my darndest not to hurt people.
Well, I think we do unintentionally, you know. But anyway, thanks for thanks for joining us this morning. I want to reiterate that the whole premise of this thing is not not interested in blowing up. I'm tired of that. I'm not interested in going viral. I'm not. What I like, and I've told a few people this, I like when Facebook gives me memories
Mm-hmm.
with photos of family and things like that from different stages of our life. And who knows where we'll be down the road? Maybe Facebook will be dead and whatever. But I, I like having
They still look back on.
conversations with you, my favorite person, to look back on. So that's the whole premise for this. So I love you.
Okay, too.
All right. Have a good day.
Bye.